Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to do a deep dive into something super important for men's health, especially as we age: testosterone.
Oh, yeah.
We came across this really interesting YouTube video from Dr. Henry Wu, a medical doctor who breaks down everything testosterone does, from building muscle to just feeling mentally sharp.
Yeah. I
So
mean, interesting stuff.
our mission today is to really understand how testosterone shapes men's health as they age. We'll explore the potential benefits of testosterone therapy and learn how to recognize if your testosterone levels might be low. So,
It's actually fascinating how much testosterone impacts our lives, and yet it's often overlooked.
right.
I don't know, like the conductor of an orchestra,
Yeah.
make sure everything runs smoothly.
Okay, so for our listeners out there, what exactly does testosterone do for men?
So you can think of testosterone as the fuel that keeps a lot of systems running smoothly. It's really crucial for building muscle, burning fat, boosting your metabolism, and even strengthening your bones.
Oh, wow.
It's also key for mental clarity, keeping your energy levels up, and maintaining healthy sex drive.
Wow, it really does seem like testosterone plays a role in almost everything.
It really does.
But I know levels naturally decline as we age, right? Is that what andropause is all about?
Exactly. Andropause, sometimes called male menopause, is all about that natural decline in testosterone that starts for most men around age 30.
Okay.
It's like a car slowly losing horsepower over time.
So that explains why some guys might start feeling a bit sluggish or just off as they get older.
Absolutely. And while some age-related changes are totally natural, significant declines in well-being shouldn't be ignored. And actually, Dr. Wu outlines 10 common symptoms of low testosterone in his video.
Okay, hit me with those symptoms. Let's see if any ring a bell for our listener.
Well, have you ever just felt completely drained even after a good night's sleep?
Yeah, for sure.
That could be a sign. Others include increased belly fat, struggling to build muscle, or even noticing a decrease in your sex drive. Some guys even report feeling less excited about things they used to enjoy, like hobbies or spending time with loved ones.
Yeah, it's interesting how those symptoms are often brushed off as just part of getting older.
Right.
But what if it's more than that? What if it's something we can actually address?
That's the key takeaway here. Instead of just accepting these changes as inevitable, let's dive into some research that might just change your perspective on aging and testosterone.
Okay, you've got my attention. Tell me more.
There was a groundbreaking study published in Diabetes Care back in 2019, and it focused on men with both low testosterone and prediabetes. Now, prediabetes means your blood sugar is higher than normal, but not high enough to be diagnosed with type 2 diabetes yet,
Uh-huh.
like you're in the warning zone.
Okay.
So these guys were already at a higher risk of developing diabetes.
So what did the researchers find?
They divided over 200 men into two groups. One group received testosterone therapy while the other didn't. And get this, they followed these men for 8 years.
8 years? That's a long time for a study. What were the results?
The results were pretty astounding. Of the men who received testosterone therapy, none of them developed diabetes.
Wow.
But in the group that didn't receive the therapy, 40% of them went on to develop diabetes.
Wow. That's a huge difference.
That's a huge difference.
Wait, so testosterone therapy actually prevented diabetes in these men? Can you imagine cutting your risk of developing diabetes by 40%? That's incredible.
It really is incredible.
Yeah.
And it highlights how powerful testosterone can be and how it impacts more than just our energy levels and muscle mass. And hold on, it gets even better.
There's more. I'm hooked. Tell me everything.
The men who received testosterone therapy also experienced some other impressive benefits. They lost weight, their blood sugar control improved, and they even saw positive changes in their cholesterol and blood pressure levels. Not to mention, their overall quality of life and sexual function also improved.
So it wasn't just about preventing diabetes. These guys experienced a whole range of positive changes just from addressing their low testosterone. It sounds like testosterone therapy could have a domino effect on a man's overall health.
That's precisely what's so exciting about this research. It really challenges the traditional view of aging and opens up new possibilities for men to take control of their health as they get older.
But didn't Dr. Wu mention another study too, one that focused on weight and testosterone?
Yes. Now, this next study might blow your mind. Researchers tracked over 800 men for over a decade. That's some serious dedication.
Wow.
And what they discovered about weight loss and testosterone was remarkable.
Okay, you've really piqued my curiosity now. Lay it on me.
They looked at men in different weight categories: normal weight, overweight, and obese, and found that after 11 years, the men who received testosterone therapy showed significant improvements in their weight, waist circumference, body fat percentage, blood sugar control, and cholesterol levels, regardless of their starting weight.
So whether you were starting out at a healthy weight or carrying some extra pounds, testosterone therapy still had a positive impact.
That's the amazing part. And that's not all. The men in this study who received testosterone therapy also reported feeling better overall, a better quality of life, more energy, you name it.
Hmm.
It seemed like addressing their testosterone levels had this positive ripple effect across their entire health picture.
Wow, that's pretty compelling evidence that testosterone therapy could benefit a wide range of men, regardless of their weight. But what about other health markers, like overall lifespan and heart health?
That's where things get really interesting. The group that received testosterone therapy actually had a lower death rate compared to those who didn't.
Hold on, a lower death rate? Are you serious?
Yep. And get this. There were 0 reports of heart attacks or strokes in the testosterone group during the entire study period.
Wow.
0. It makes you wonder if testosterone therapy could be like a secret weapon for a longer, healthier life.
This is groundbreaking stuff. It really makes you rethink what's possible as men age. But of course, I know no medical intervention is without potential risks. What does the research say about the downsides of testosterone therapy?
That's a great question and one that we'll delve into right after a quick break. We'll be back in a flash to discuss the potential risks and whether they outweigh the incredible benefits we've seen so far. Don't go anywhere.
All right, so we're back, and I think the big question that's probably on everyone's mind is, what about the side effects of testosterone therapy? I know a lot of guys out there are worried about things like prostate problems.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a valid concern. But here's what's interesting. The studies Dr. Wu mentions actually suggest the opposite might be true.
Wait, really? So testosterone therapy might actually lower the risk of prostate issues?
It's true. Men who received testosterone therapy actually showed a lower risk of developing prostate problems compared to those who didn't.
Huh. That's amazing. It really shows how important it is to, look at the scientific evidence and not just rely on assumptions or outdated information. This stuff is always evolving.
It really is. It challenges conventional thinking about testosterone therapy, and it really underscores the need to have, those open and honest conversations with your healthcare providers to dispel those myths and make, really informed decisions.
Speaking of dispelling myths, I know Dr. Wu mentioned a helpful checklist in his video for men who are wondering if they might have low testosterone.
Yeah.
Should we go over those 10 signs? I'm sure our listener is eager to hear if any of these resonate with them.
Let's do it. But just remember, this is just a starting point, not a self-diagnosis tool, right?
Of course, nothing replaces a good conversation with your doctor. But it's a great way for men to start paying attention to their bodies and, potential hormonal shifts.
Yeah.
Okay, first up on the list, decreased sexual desire.
Makes sense. Considering testosterone's role in libido, it's like the spark that keeps things interesting,
All right. Number 2 is lack of energy and vitality.
Okay.
Feeling constantly fatigued or just not as driven as you used to be.
I think a lot of guys experience this and just kind of chalk it up to stress or being overworked.
Right.
But it could be a sign that, your hormones are out of whack.
Right.
Yeah.
Next up, number 3, decreased physical strength and endurance.
Yeah, well, if you're hitting the gym regularly, but not seeing the gains you used to, or you're getting winded more easily during your workouts, that could be a red flag.
This one surprised me. Number 4 is a decrease in height.
Oh, yeah.
What does height have to do with testosterone?
Believe it or not, testosterone plays a role in bone density, and low levels can contribute to bone loss, which can lead to a decrease in height over time. It's not something you might notice right away, but it can definitely creep up on you.
Wow, good catch. Okay, number 5 is kind of a big one. A diminished sense of enjoyment in life.
This can manifest in so many ways. Maybe you're not as excited about hobbies you used to love, or you're withdrawing from social events. It's I don't know, the colors drained out of life a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that can lead to number 6, feelings of sadness or depression.
Absolutely. Testosterone plays a role in mood regulation, and low levels have been linked to an increased risk of depression. It's like, a dark cloud hanging over your head.
Right.
Making it hard to see the good things in life.
Number 7 is one that a lot of men might be sensitive about. Experiencing erectile dysfunction or weaker erections.
Yeah, it's definitely a common and often overlooked symptom of low testosterone. And it can really impact, a man's confidence and self-esteem.
Absolutely.
For sure.
All right. We're in the home stretch. Number 8 is reduced athletic performance.
Okay. This goes back to testosterone's impact on muscle strength and endurance. If you're finding it harder to keep up with your usual workouts or sports, low testosterone could be a factor.
Number 9, increased sleepiness, especially after meals.
Yeah, this could be related to fatigue and those like low energy levels associated with low testosterone. It's like your body's constantly running on fumes.
And last but not least, number 10 is a decline in work performance.
It's hard to focus and be productive when you're feeling tired, unmotivated, and just mentally foggy. All of these can be linked to low testosterone.
So there you have it, Dr. Wu's 10 signs of potential low testosterone. It's a pretty comprehensive list, and I bet a lot of guys out there are nodding their heads right now thinking, hey, that sounds familiar.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely a wake-up call for a lot of men, but, the good news is that there are solutions available. If you're experiencing several of these symptoms, it's definitely worth having a conversation with your doctor.
Absolutely.
Early detection and intervention can make a world of difference.
Absolutely.
Listening to all of this really makes you think about the bigger picture. What does all of this information about testosterone tell us about men's health as we age?
I think it highlights a really crucial point.
Mm.
Men's health, especially hormonal health, has been shrouded in stigma and misinformation for far too long.
Yeah, it's like there's been this societal reluctance to acknowledge that men go through natural changes as they get older.
Exactly. And, this silence can have real consequences.
Mm.
Men often suffer in silence thinking it's all in their heads or that they're just getting old.
Right.
They might blame it on stress or work or their lifestyle. But what if it's a treatable hormonal imbalance?
That's a game changer. So instead of just accepting those changes as inevitable, men actually have options.
That's the empowering message here. The research on testosterone therapy clearly shows that addressing these hormonal shifts can have a profound impact on a man's physical, mental, and emotional health.
It's like giving guys a new lease on life and potentially even reducing the risk of serious health problems down the road, like diabetes and heart disease.
Precisely. This isn't about turning back the clock or trying to stay young forever, right? It's about optimizing your health and well-being at every stage of life.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
So what's the key takeaway for our listener today? What do you want them to walk away with?
I think it's a call to action. Men, as you age, pay attention to your bodies. Be aware of the potential impact of hormonal changes, and don't hesitate to seek professional medical advice if you're experiencing any of the symptoms we've discussed.
Yeah, it's about taking charge of your health and not being afraid to ask for help.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, and understanding how hormones like testosterone work can really empower men to make informed decisions about their health and well-being. It might just be the key to living a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life as you age.
So well said. This has been such an eye-opening deep dive into the world of testosterone. But before we wrap things up, I have one final burning question that I think a lot of our listeners are probably wondering about too.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's on your mind?
So we've seen compelling evidence that testosterone therapy can have significant benefits for men's health, and it seems like the risks are minimal based on the studies we've discussed.
Yeah, the research certainly paints a promising picture.
So this begs the question, should men be more proactive about discussing testosterone therapy with their doctors as they age? Is it something we should be bringing up at our annual checkups, even if we're not experiencing any major symptoms?
Well, that's a fascinating question, and one that I think deserves a lot more attention. It challenges the traditional reactive approach to healthcare, where we wait until something goes wrong before we seek help.
Right, it's like waiting for the engine to blow before you change the oil.
Exactly. Why wait for symptoms to become debilitating or for a chronic condition to develop when we have the potential to take, a more proactive approach to men's health?
Right, so instead of waiting for the warning light to flash, we should be checking the gauges regularly
Yeah.
and addressing any potential issues before they become major problems.
Precisely. Imagine a future where men, as part of their routine health checkups, engage in open and informed conversations with their doctors about hormonal health, right? We could empower men to take control of their aging process and make informed decisions about their well-being.
It's a powerful vision and one that I think a lot of men would embrace.
Absolutely. And it might just be the key to a healthier and happier future for men everywhere.
Well said. This has been an incredibly enlightening deep dive. I hope our listener feels empowered to continue exploring this topic and to prioritize their well-being as they navigate the aging process.
And remember, knowledge is power. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Advocate for your health and seek out the information you need to make the best choices for your body and mind.
Great advice. Well, folks, that's a wrap for today's deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground and learned some amazing things about testosterone and its impact on men's health.
It's been an honor to share this journey with you and our listener.
Until next time, stay curious and keep diving deep.
Yeah, it really does feel like we're on the cusp of like a new era in men's health, you know?
I agree. It's exciting to see these conversations happening more openly and to see men taking a more proactive role in their well-being.
Absolutely. So for our listener out there who's, been absorbing all of this incredible information, what would you say is the most important next step they could take?
Yeah, I think if this conversation has resonated with you at all, don't hesitate to reach out to your healthcare provider.
Yeah, it's as simple as scheduling that appointment and having an open and honest conversation about, your health goals and concerns. Exactly. And remember, every man's journey is unique. What works for one person may not be the right fit for another. So that's why personalized medical advice is so crucial.
It's all about finding the best approach for your individual needs and circumstances.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of testosterone and men's health.
It's been an incredibly insightful journey, and I hope our listener feels empowered to continue exploring this topic and to prioritize their well-being at every age.
Absolutely. Remember, knowledge is power, and taking charge of your health is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself.
Until next time, stay curious and keep diving deep.
Great advice. Well, folks, that's a wrap for today's deep dive. We covered a lot of ground and learned some pretty amazing things about testosterone and its impact on men's health. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.